Well, hello, Jessica. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Good morning from
Yes,
Japan.
yes. For you, we were talking about it offline. It's 7:30 in the morning. That you
Yes,
said?
and I woke up and I was ready for this. I'm like, let's go.
Let's do
Start the
it.
morning right. Let's start the morning right.
Yes, and for me, it's like 2:30 in the afternoon here in San Diego, California. So, all across the world, and talking about YouTube, right? That's what's great about YouTube. You can do it from anywhere, and it brings people together from all over the world. So, why don't we get started with you sharing with our viewers and listeners what got you onto YouTube? What inspired you to start YouTube? And just kind of a brief little cliff notes on your history of YouTube leading on to today.
So I originally started as a graphic designer. So I've always been into Photoshop, design, anything design related. That's kind of how I started. And I actually started originally on Neopets doing anyone who's listening who knows Neopets, shout out to Neopets. That's where I started
I don't know what it
everything.
is.
Making
Nice.
it's a website where you can have pets and you can make clubs and there was like chat rooms and things like that. It was so fun. And I pretty much lived on Neopets for quite a while. And so that's where kind of started like having a love of design through Neopets. And then that slowly turned into graphic design. And then I went after high school, I wasn't sure what to go into. So I ended up going into graphic design and graduated college with a BFA in graphic design.
Mm-hmm.
And then during college, I found a love for photography because I loved editing, because I loved using Photoshop. And then that started my photography career halfway into college. And then after working at as a designer for about 2.5 years, I decided to do photography full time. And then now here I am. And I think what started my love for YouTube is because back in my Neopet days, everyone would always ask me, how do you do this design? How do you get this? How did you get
Oh,
this typeface like this?
mm-hmm.
Because in the guilds, you would make like designs and layouts and stuff. That's how you would attract members. Members were such like you it's like a club. Like imagine a club and you have to like show that you're cool enough to for people to join. Like, look at my cool club. I have this cool design. So the cooler your design was, the more people would want to join. And so and people would always ask me, how did you get this effect? And so I would make tutorials, like written tutorials were really big back then. There were used to be websites just dedicated to like written tutorials. And so I would write out, like I would screenshot pictures of how to like what effect, which button to press. It would take so long, by the way. It was like 20,000 times longer than just doing a video.
Mm-hmm.
So I had that history, and then so I just applied that to YouTube and started making my tutorials instead of written format into video format. And here we are today.
So you made, and how long ago was this?
So I started Neopets was like I was like 12 years old, probably 11, 12 years old. And then YouTube I started 2013.
Oh,
And
a
that
long time
was
ago.
a while. Yeah, I've been on YouTube for a while. And
Oh, almost
I
10
never expect
years.
yeah, yep. It has been almost 10 years. Yeah, that's great. I didn't even think about wait, it has been 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. And so you got onto YouTube doing like things related to graphic design, related to like the Neopets, or like what were you doing on YouTube?
Originally, it was just editing tutorials, showing people how to edit pictures and use Photoshop. I was huge into Photoshop, so I
Mm-hmm.
just made a bunch of Photoshop tutorials, and then that slowly and the Photoshop tutorials were related to photography because I was editing pictures that I was taking. So then it slowly turned into photography tutorials because I was learning so much about photography that I wanted to share with other people how to switch lens. I didn't even know you can get another lens. Like, oh, you can use something other than the kit lens. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Or how do you get a blue sky? That was my number one question. I remember messaging someone on Facebook, like a photographer. I'm like, how do you get a blue sky in your pictures? I didn't even know how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So those are things that I wanted to also share with people because I had no idea. So I'm like, other people should know about this. So that's kind of how it evolved. And then started doing challenges and things like that, photography, everything photography related.
So yeah, your channel still is kind of related to photography. Is that what you would say? That's kind of what your main channel niche is?
Absolutely, yeah. But sometimes that can be kind of tough, just sticking to one thing,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes having being on a small like photography, a lot of people are interested in photography, but would they willingly watch a video about what lenses to buy all the time?
Yeah.
Probably not. So it is kind of more selective. So I think that's a difficult part about being in the photography community on YouTube.
Yeah. At what point did your channel on YouTube really take off for you?
So I would say my four photographers shoot the same model video. I shot that December of 2016. It was my first episode, and I published it, and I'm pretty sure 2000. I think it's end of 2016 or early 2017. I published it, and then I think it was like the first week, 2 weeks, nothing happened, and then all of a sudden, it started getting picked up by the photography websites,
Hmm.
and then started pretty much. I mean, I remember I was trending on Pinterest after that went viral. So that it went viral the first episode, and I just thought to myself, wow, people seem to really like the series, or this video. Why don't I make more of them? And then that's how it became a
Became a
series.
series. And it was exactly what? Like it was one, one photographer, four models? Or
For
four
yeah, flip it.
okay, four models. Wait, what did you say? Four
You're
photographers.
hilarious. I love this so much.
Yeah, yeah,
Four models. Oh, I'd be there all week.
yeah,
That would
yeah,
take.
yeah. Four photographers, one model.
There you go.
Okay,
Yes.
so it sounds like you had one model and you had four basically four different photographers and how they took this model's photos.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So then that blew up, and then you started to say, hey, if I'm going to do that, double down, do more of that content. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Oh,
That was the plan. That was the plan.
and did it work out like that?
So, yes, it did for a while, and then interestingly enough, I recently I released an episode. I think it was episode 11. We shot it in Detroit, and this was during this is I think 2021 or 2022, and that video, even though all the other videos I have about 10 episodes of four photographers, and all of them did amazingly well, over 1 million views each.
Mm,
And
mm.
then suddenly, my last episode, it's sitting at, I don't know, 80,000 views, which is crazy, because I think that, and it's so interesting because for me as a photographer, you think doing the same thing that was successful before is still going to be successful. It's not. It's not. And I think that's a big realization that a lot of YouTubers have, is that, oh, the content I used to make that used to work for me is no longer working for me. What do I do? So that's something that I'm currently going through, that I also wanted to share, because a lot of people, I think, just focus on the successes and they don't focus on problem solving. And I'm actually currently problem solving that, because I had people telling me yesterday, some friends, why don't you bring back four photographers? It's been almost, I think, a year or 2 years since I last recorded an episode. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to bring it back, because the last one didn't do so. It doesn't seem like people want to see it anymore,
Mm,
but people are telling me that they want, oh, bring it back. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to bring it back and do all the, it's a lot of work to produce that video. So it's like, do I
mm,
want to do it? And then it doesn't do well. And I don't know. I don't
yeah.
know, Erica. What do I do?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like with YouTube, and that's interesting too, that the second it didn't work out for you, you stopped it. Because it's like without you having done another one after that to like confirm it, it's like,
Hmm.
maybe it was just that the timing
Maybe you're right.
one.
Maybe you're right.
I don't know. Because it is. It's like, that's crazy that all your others, that's 11 and you did 10 more and they all reached 1 million views.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, one of them reached 500,000, which was still fine for me. That's still a lot of views. but it wasn't as much. Comparing that to, let's say, the one from Japan that has like almost 2 million, or the one that has like 5 million. I mean, then you
Mhm.
start to compare and think, what's going on? What am I doing wrong? But you do make a good point, though. I kind of did give up after the.
Yeah, because you just
uh
don't know. Because what if, like, it sounds like they're in different locations. Maybe the location has to do with it. Who knows what the variable is? But
mhm.
if it's a series that worked really good, it's in a way, it's like you don't necessarily want to give up on it, but you want to give it a couple shots to know, okay, this really isn't working anymore. Um, but yeah, I don't know. But I guess it sounds like though there's a lot of work involved with those videos, right?
You know, another interesting thing is that in the beginning, it was a very simple setup. It was a videographer, it was me, it was three photographers in the beginning, by the way. It was three photographers, including me, and then one model, and it was just 3 rounds. So it was very quick. It
Mm-hmm.
was low budget, low production value. So it was, and honestly, that worked, and that worked. And then as the videos went on and as the series continued, as we did each episode, the production value went up.
And as you
And I
grew as
just,
a creator too, and
mhm,
built a bigger audience. Mm-hmm.
absolutely. And sometimes I felt like the last video has to be better than the other video in terms of production quality, and sometimes that's a lot of pressure on. I'm doing everything. I mean, obviously, I have an amazing team to film and to edit and things like that, but sometimes it becomes bigger than you as a content creator, and you don't know what to do. It's just sometimes you're like, is it going to be better than the next one? I don't know. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and it's interesting. That's sometimes what happens. It's kind of like when you do something on a whim at the beginning, just trying it out. Like you said, low production. It's kind of like, hey, there's a different mentality behind it. There's a different approach, and then once there's more at stake, like this one, the
Yes.
last one you did, you had all these expectations that, oh, I need to reach 1 million, I need to do this, I need to do that, and in a way, you wonder how that mindset or approach changes the kind of authentic like creativity of the whole process too. It's just interesting as creators. There's so much as you grow, as you've seen, because you've been on YouTube for 10 years, you're at, million, I don't know how many subscribers, like 1.5 million, or I don't know. How many do you have? Like you're rather large,
Oh,
or two,
1.9, but
1.9. Okay.
yeah, one, but it's, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just to show that you've been doing this for a while and that,
Hmm.
you've seen a lot of success with your videos. And it's like, how does that mindset change with maybe like, at the beginning, and how does that impact the content? But I don't know. Maybe you'll have to try another
You,
one just to see.
I mean, you really gave me something to think about, because I need, sometimes I need to be called out like that. Like, hey, why did you give up after? Okay, like, so two of them didn't do so well, but that's okay. Because sometimes I get in my head about things, and
A
I'm
lot
like,
of
okay, just
creators do.
scrap it,
Yeah.
and I just start to feel down and think, great, this is not working. Which I feel like I always plan ahead, and I always try to think of new series idea, which is why I started doing taking pictures of strangers, and also that I tried to think of like new ideas to do, so that involved going up to strangers on the street and then asking if I can take their portrait. And that series blew up. We filmed that years ago, in LA. We started, and then that video blew up as well, and so I continued. That became a series on its own as well, taking pictures of strangers.
Mm.
And then I started doing it in other countries. I did one in Korea. I did one in Japan. I did one in Lebanon, my home country. So I sort of took that idea and then also made that. I didn't just depend on the four photographers. I think that's important as a content creator, is that a lot of people just stick to the one thing and then that's their thing. But also it's important to like branch out and see what
Experiment.
more you can do and experiment.
100%. Yeah. I mean, I mean, yeah. It is interesting. You have to be able to like I said, like evolve a little bit, but and for you, because you have such a specific niche, photography, you really have to get creative. So you mentioned earlier that people only want to like hear about lenses and the equipment and stuff like that. So it sounds like you really have to brainstorm and come up with creative ideas. I've noticed on your channel you do a lot of like photographer reacts, and like you did the America's Next Top Model. Was that kind of a pivot to your content versus like the very like photographer centric videos? It's almost like now it seems like it's a little bit more like in the realm of entertainment.
Yeah, so that's also something that I'm currently struggling with too. So I like that you brought that up because again, as a content creator, you if you just stick to one thing and then people are not interested in that thing anymore, then you sort of feel lost in a way. So I
Mm-hmm.
was always trying to come up with new ideas and things. So during the, when the pandemic was coming about, we weren't able to really go out and shoot. And so I had to think of
Mm-hmm.
different ideas and different things. And the reaction videos were very experimental. And I didn't expect, like, I had done a few of them actually. I started out just reacting to the pictures, just the pictures. And those seemed to do like decently. I mean, not nothing crazy. I was just doing them for fun. And then I did like a few videos, like reacting to the actual videos of America's Next Top Model. And I think it was months later that one of the videos started gaining traction out of nowhere. It was completely out of nowhere. And again, I had already posted so many videos after that time, so I didn't even notice that it was really blowing up. And then when I did, I went back and I'm like, wait, one of my reaction videos is blowing up. Okay, like maybe there's something here that I could do. So I started doing the reaction videos, and those did incredibly well. And I feel like it was a blessing and sort of a curse because in a way I was my some of my audience felt like I was leaving behind all the photography content that I had been doing for so many years, and I felt really bad sort of letting that audience down, my original audience. But then I'm also trying to welcome a brand new audience into my channel that loves the reaction and commentary stuff. And especially during that time, you literally couldn't leave your house. So I was like, this is like the perfect mix
Mm-hmm.
of content. So I was doing that for a while, and I'm slowly trying to pivot and see what else I could do besides just the one reaction video of the one show, because I think that although I love making the reaction videos, like I'm truly a photographer, like that's my whole thing, and I want to do
Mm.
more of that versus, and don't get me wrong, I love commentary. I
Yeah.
watch so many commentary and reaction videos, but it's like what more could I do besides just that?
Yeah, it becomes tough because then that's what's working, right? The commentary is what's working,
Yes, yeah.
and then you want to double down on what's working, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Erica, what do I do? Help me.
Well, that's what I
Help
do.
me, Erica.
I
You
coach
guys, this is
YouTubers.
why I was
That's
on the
all I
podcast, so Erica
do.
can help me.
Oh my god, that's funny. We could talk offline, and but that's all I do. And it's funny. It's because that's like in working with and coaching so many YouTubers. There's strategy, but it's also there's so much like psychological things because you're the talent, but then you're also the mastermind, and it's like your whole this is your whole career, and it's like any video you put out, especially because you know if you work really hard at it, which most creators do, you put out a video and it doesn't do well, and say the next one doesn't do well, and then the next one you're like, oh my god, is my channel dying? Right? Like,
Literally me right now, you guys. Erica.
oh my god, I can't tell you how many people that I work with. It's like, oh my god, but yeah, there's I mean, that's that there's so many amazing things with being a content creator, but then there's the other side of it, and that's why I have, this show, and that's why I do. That is it's not easy. Like it's amazing and fun, and there's so many amazing opportunities, but at the same time there's like this mental gymnastics you have to do with yourself, because it's like me, myself, and I'm the talent, I'm the creative director, I'm the director, I'm the photographer. So sounds like you're going through it right now.
I am a little, so I think this call came at the right time. I think the universe is like, Jessica, today we're gonna find a solution here. We're gonna problem solve.
Oh my gosh.
And you know what? It seems like, I mean, you are extremely knowledgeable about this space, and I think it's interesting to chat with other people about YouTube
Hmm.
because everyone has their own perspective on what works and what doesn't, and it's so nice to hear from other people because, like you said, when you're in it, you sort of like, I don't know, I just feel like I put so much pressure on myself and I just need to hear it from an outside perspective. Hey, you're doing fine.
Yeah,
It's
you're not
okay.
alone.
It's not as bad as I think.
Yeah. How long have you been feeling like this?
I would say since I started, probably like the last year and a half through I think the reaction videos, my audience completely changed. For instance, my challenge videos used to do so well, and now they're the same challenge videos that used to get like 1 million views. I mean, like 15,000, 20,000 now. Why? Probably, this is just a guess, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking like my audience changed because
Mm-hmm.
I pivoted to the reaction slash commentary, and that's all people want to see now. So I kind of put myself in that corner now where, okay, my main channel is now becoming, I feel like I have to, not that I have to do it because I still love doing the commentary and reaction, but now I'm having like a crisis, like an internal crisis, because I want to continue doing photography related things,
Mm.
but
But it's the reaction videos are the ones that are doing well.
exactly, or commentary. So I actually
Commentary.
started, girl, I started a second channel. So
Oh, you started a second
I'm
channel, and what is that one about? Just photography?
Yes, so I'm trying to recreate what I had in my original channel by just posting all my BTS, because I noticed when I started posting my behind the scenes of me shooting, those weren't received very well by my audience on my main channel. So I thought, why not just have a dedicated second channel where I can, maybe that can be my experimental thing where I see if I can recreate some sort of traction on that and see where it goes. Because I was talking to my YouTube partner manager, and because I was going back and forth with this Erica for so long. I was like, do I make a second channel? Do I split
Mm.
up my content?
Mm-hmm.
And have you talked to people about like second channel? Because that's a huge thing in the photography, like having a second channel.
Yeah, I mean, I talk a lot to people about exactly the situation you're going through right now and also changing niches and all that. I mean, generally, I don't usually recommend a second channel, but you know, it just depends on each situation. It's like, it's super different, right? It just depends because, like, what are you going to do with your original channel? Are you going to continue
Yeah.
going down this path and continuing to do the reaction videos, or would you want to switch back to more of a photography based audience? So, or do you abandon your big channel? Like, it doesn't, which I wouldn't. It's 2 million subscribers, but
Yeah.
what did your partner manager tell you to do?
So, well, first, just like, a lot, I asked a lot of other YouTubers, and I think people were torn. A lot of people were like, don't split up your content. And a
Yeah.
lot of my audience, I asked my audience, and they're the sweetest. They're amazing. They're like, well, watch whatever you put out.
Yeah,
But
I
at the
mean, the
same
audience
time,
doesn't really. They're yeah. It's like you're. A lot of times when you ask the audience, like it's good for feedback, reading the contents, but at the same
yes,
time,
yeah,
asking them about YouTube strategy is probably not the.
you're right. Yeah, yeah,
Because it's like he's kind of preaching to the choir. Because I guarantee you've got a group of like super fans that are going to watch you no matter what, and those are the people that are going to respond and be like, "Oh, I love you," blah blah blah, right? So not the people that like knew you and then they pieced out once you started doing the reaction videos. So
yeah. Those are the people I need to talk to.
yeah, exactly.
You guys, please DM me.
Yeah, they don't care. They're gone. They left you for somebody else.
I know. I love see this is what I need to hear, honestly. Like, that's sometimes what you need as a content creator and as an artist, is just brutal honesty sometimes. Like
Yeah,
constructive
I'm a little too
critique.
honest, but yeah, that's how
No, no,
I
but I
approach.
like that. No, I
Yeah,
really I appreciate everything that you're saying, because I'd rather someone just tell me that versus, no, you're doing great. And because I know I'm not
yeah,
inside,
yeah,
internally, we know when we're not doing so well.
yeah.
And so we just need someone to sort of, I mean, it's not the easiest thing to hear, but I think it's necessary in order to grow as not only a creator, but an artist as well. You can't get better unless you hear something that maybe you're not, it's not the most support, like it doesn't have to be supportive exactly, or doesn't have to be flattering towards you, but it can be constructive and it can help you grow. And I think that's, again, that it is important as an artist.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in that. I mean, that's that because I work with a lot of people, and my whole belief is like you're never gonna improve if you don't really know what you're doing wrong, right? And usually when people come to me, it's like they have an issue, kind of like yours or whatever, and it's like, okay, well, here's the deal, here's the real deal, and now what can we do to fix it and move you on your path? Because and it's hard in this industry. It's like you said, you started talking to so you started talking to a lot of other creators and the partner manager,
Hmm.
and they said they were mixed on whether or not you should add another channel.
So I spoke to some YouTubers and I wanted the honest truth. I was like, tell me what,
Mm-hmm.
just roast my, I literally, I told one
Roast
guy,
my
I was like,
channel.
roast my channel,
Yeah.
roast my thumbnails. I'm like, what am I doing
Yeah.
that could, what could I do better? What could I do? Because we can all improve on something. And so, and I started to independently research maybe I could be doing my thumbnails better. Maybe it's the titles. Maybe because I don't have I wouldn't say that I have a consistent branding,
Mm-hmm.
which is so it's funny because I'm a designer, so I learned that in school.
Yeah.
Branding, it's all
Yeah.
about branding.
Yeah.
But I was struggling so bad with branding my because if you look at creators like Mr. Beast or
Mm-hmm.
any of the huge creators, they have a sort of when it's their video, you see
Mm-hmm.
the colors that they use, the typefaces, the sort of photography that they use in their thumbnails. That's also specific to that creator. So in doing something like that, branding your channel, you're creating a unique look that when people don't even have to know it's you to know that it's your video. And so I tried to do that, but even till this day, again, my teachers would be very disappointed in me. They'd be like, "Just you failed this class, you're failing this." Like out of everybody, I should be the one to know how to do branding because I literally did a class on multiple classes on
Yeah.
branding.
Yeah. But that's the
Um,
thing about YouTube, though. It's like, it's very difficult to pinpoint it to one thing. And
yeah,
with YouTube, everything kind of has to work together. So you can't just say, I fixed my branding, now my channel is going to just take off, right? You know,
true.
it's a
Yes,
combination of the video topics, how you're presenting them to your audience, who your audience is now, what YouTube has kind of configured as like what your channel's about, the titles, like there's just, that's the thing with YouTube. And I think that's what makes it a little more challenging than some of the other platforms because there's so many components of it that need to work, individually, but most importantly, like all work together.
absolutely.
Hmm.
And by the way, to answer your question, I'm sorry, I realized I never
Oh
answered the
no, it's
question.
okay.
My partner manager
Oh yeah.
told me that if I feel she told me that it seems like I would be more comfortable like splitting it up just so that I can because I feel like when I would post a video like I posted a behind the scenes
Hmm.
photo shoot on my main channel and it would get like 5,000, 10,000 views, I
Oh
know that
wow.
internally I wouldn't feel good about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, because that's so
um
low for like what?
it
Yeah,
is
your size. Hmm.
compared to my other videos
The
that were doing
reaction.
way better. So I feel like I was resisting posting the BTS at all because I didn't want it to affect. I don't know why I thought it was going to affect the algorithm, but I was becoming self-conscious about posting content that I thought wouldn't do well, so I wouldn't even be posting it
Mm,
at all. And so I'm like, I need a place to house this
mm.
content. And so I just feel like I felt more at ease having a second channel where I can freely post that and maybe that can be more consistent. And so again, I did talk to many YouTubers and people about the second channel, and I had that second channel for I think almost a year before I even posted on it and just took the plunge. I was like,
Hmm.
let's just do it. What do I have to lose? And honestly, I like you, I was kind of against having a second channel because
Hmm.
it's like what if I do split up my content, then what is my main content going to be
And
if
it's
it's not going to be the photography stuff?
and it's also about like splitting up your time too.
Absolutely.
So how is your other channel going? Are you still posting on there? Your second channel?
I am. Yes. It's like a little baby channel. I like it. I
How
like
many
it because
subscribers does it have?
I have 2,000
Okay.
subscribers and I'm very happy.
Yeah.
I'm very happy. I've just recently started it and I'm experimenting with um the titles and I feel like I can just like be more creative with that. I
Mm-hmm.
can just do whatever. I don't have to worry about like having the perfect title and thumbnail. But it's good for me to like talk about this openly because I feel like a lot of us only share like the success that we
Yeah.
go through
Yeah.
and but at the same time the reality is many of us struggle on YouTube and it's not all glamour and fun and games. It's very difficult, and I think that's what the challenge is what makes YouTube kind of exciting in a way, is that
Mm-hmm.
you don't know if it's going to do well or not, but you still try.
Yeah. Yeah. So then what's your plan for your main channel then? If are you going to just continue doing reaction type videos? Is that where you see the direction of that channel going?
I'm going to slowly start to shift to reacting to other types of content. I
Mm-hmm.
think I'm trying to keep it photography related though. I
Mm.
feel like that could, I mean, I feel like people are still interested to hear, like, I've seen other YouTubers do reaction videos and what they specialize in, and
Mm-hmm.
I find
Mm-hmm.
that to be very interesting. So I feel like there is definitely something that can be done in that sort
Yeah.
of corner on the internet. So I'm trying to do something similar, but I have to branch out and take that first step. And I'm trying to do more commentary style things. And I think I feel like I'm sort of back at square one where I'm just experimenting, but hopefully I can find my way. It's all
Yeah.
about just the journey, right?
It is, and it's so interesting because you've had a lot of success with different video types, and it's an interesting thing when and I find that also with the pandemic, a lot of people saw like just audience behavior changed too in a way.
Yes.
So this isn't just kind of unique to you. It's I think unique to a lot of creators where the pandemic for some channels really helped them blow up. Really like, and there are certain topics that were just hot during the pandemic, right? Because everybody was home, and you found a really interesting niche almost out of survival because you couldn't go out and travel or do all the things you do with your photography, and then it almost like changed the course of your YouTube channel, and it's just I guess it's a constantly evolving thing. So I guess then my question would be, where do you go from here with both your big channel and your little channel? I mean, I like the fact that they're both photography related. I mean, I think that's good, and I think that's smart that you maintain that, because obviously there's something there with the commentary videos. Because on average, like those videos get quite a few views, right? You get a lot of views on those.
Yeah, not yeah. On average, they tend to do a lot better than my regular videos, my more photography stuff.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like that there's something there, and like you said, like people are interested in that. So it's like where do you go from here with both channels?
Exactly. That's the question that I'm also thinking about. How can I take this? It's just like how I took the other ideas and kind of did like took those and then created other series or
Mm-hmm.
the concepts from that. So I'm trying to just apply that same creative thinking to the reaction videos, because I'm struggling with, do I react to just anything or do I keep it photography related? It's going to be more specific content that I can react to, and it's going to be harder to find, but it'll still be like on brand for me.
Mm-hmm.
Or do I just start reacting to, I don't like 90 Day Fiance or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, do I want to go down that road? Because then I'm totally leaving photography if I do that,
Have you
and I
experimented
don't
with
want to
that at
do
all?
that.
Well, if you don't want to do that, then I wouldn't do that. Because that's the other component too with being a creator is that you have to really be passionate and like what you're doing, because that's kind of where you shine on camera. That's where you're magnetic. Because once people start veering off into trying things that they kind of in their heart of hearts like, oh, let me just try it, but they're not like super jazzed or excited about. That's like the fastest road to burnout. Even if they perform pretty decent, if you as a creator aren't aligning with that, like it doesn't work long term.
No, you're right. I know that you're right. And I'm trying to do more of what I'm passionate about, and that is photography. That's
Mm,
why I started my channel in the beginning. It was all photography content, educational content, teaching people how to shoot in different situations. I did a few not too many camera reviews, but reviews on photography equipment and recommending things.
mm,
And I haven't done content like that in a while, actually, because I've been focused on the reaction side of things. So I do sort of miss that part of me,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a lot of content creators on YouTube had to literally change the direction of their channel in order, like you said, to survive certain periods in time, and that was my, like you said, survival for not being able to leave the house. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I feel like I have a lot of, I've been thinking and writing down ideas, and I'm optimistic, and I just take this as a challenge. Not everything in your, and you can apply this in your life as well. Not everything is going to go perfectly. You are going to have low moments in life, or times where you're not doing as well, and that's okay. That's a part of the experience of living.
Yeah.
And and same can be applied to YouTube. It's a part of, if you're not doing so well with your videos, that's okay. That's a part of being a content creator. You
Mm-hmm.
just refresh, think of new ideas, and start again. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not the end of the world. So I'm trying to be optimistic about it. And I'm
Yeah.
excited to create new content.
Yeah. And have you tried and experimented with some of the like photography ideas on your big channel recently, or when was the last time that you actually threw something out there?
So I've been filming videos here in Japan. So I have few new videos that I'm going to be publishing, and I have some that I filmed when I was in LA, and I'm going to see how those do, and I'm just going to go from there. I'm going to kind of gauge the interest of those,
Mm-hmm.
and if my audience doesn't seem to like those videos, again, they will probably go on to my second channel,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll just keep working it out, and I'll just see what kind of like catches. But also, I want to mention something for like, if you are starting a YouTube channel, also sometimes you'll post a video and it'll do terrible like the first few months. Okay, I'm talking months. I had
Yeah.
videos where I posted a video, it did like 10,000 views, and then 6 months in, it starts to go viral.
Yeah.
I'm not even
Yep.
kidding.
Yep.
And I've known people, yeah, right?
A hundred
It's just
percent.
out of nowhere. So
Mm-hmm.
you can't judge the performance of your video in the first few days, even weeks. God, you never know down the line that could blow up. And I swear, it happens to so many people. So don't be too harsh or judge yourself too quickly.
I like to think of every YouTube video like you're throwing it out there almost like as bait, and and the more bait that you have, the
Yes.
more fish that you get. You know?
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Erica, yes. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Because it's like you don't always know like if a video is going to perform or not. But like you said, it's like YouTube has this interesting way of sometimes down the line videos just blowing up. That's what also makes YouTube really exciting. So when you look at,
Hmm.
and I don't know if you look how much you look at your analytics, but are you able to see how much of your views are coming from some of your older videos? Because I'd imagine that you have a lot of your older content on there. Are you still getting views and subs from some of those old videos? Are any of them still really like riding high and giving you, one of your top, giving you a bunch of views and stuff every month?
I haven't looked too much into the analytics of my older videos, although I
Mm-hmm.
will. I probably should. And I'll be honest, I'm not a huge analytics person. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's my downfall. Like, I can admit, like, that's my
Mm-hmm.
weakness, is that I don't check that
I love the
very often
analytics.
because,
I love it. It's my
oh,
favorite.
girl, okay, you got, after this call, you got
Because
you gotta
there's a
tell.
tab there where you right when you log in, and it says like your highest viewed videos over the last 48 hours, and
Yeah.
you
Oh
could,
yeah, I see that. Yeah,
yeah, and
but
then you can
yeah,
see
I don't do the
there,
deep dive.
yeah, you could see which ones, and a lot of times you could see a top 10, and maybe five of them could be a few years old. That's a good indicator of where your people are coming from.
I probably should do that more. I do check the main analytics for
Mm-hmm.
the recent videos, but I don't do deep dive. Even though whenever I do my calls with my YouTube partner
Mm-hmm.
manager,
They do it.
I definitely do the she helps me so much, and she's given me so much good advice on we talked about thumbnails and titles, which videos people are clicking, which ones people are not clicking, and why,
Oh,
and then
good.
also the ending of the videos, the videos towards the end of the video, your video that pop up,
The end
those are
card.
super important as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
end screen is so
End
important. See,
screen. Yeah.
I didn't even care about that kind of stuff. How did I make it this far on YouTube?
Well,
How
because
did I make
you're
it this?
creative and you're talented and you have a passion for something, and that's really, I think, what what makes people succeed. So that foundation is there, right? The foundation, because you've seen success in the past, you've seen success recently, and you have that special it factor that has attracted 2 million people to your channel. So that's a big part of it. That's why, as long as you've got that, everything else you can figure out and tweak and change, because you've already proven that you can see success as a creator. So
Thank you, Erica. That means a lot. Thank you.
yeah,
Really.
yeah. I mean, you have
I
really cool
appreciate that.
videos. I mean, I've seen them, and that's why I asked you on the podcast. So it's like, you have, there's something there, and I think a lot of creators, especially large creators, people think that the struggles are only there like when you're first starting and getting your first 10,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers, but the struggles are there throughout the whole journey. They just become different. So.
That's such a good way of putting it. You're absolutely right. And again, I think it's just important that we have this conversation so people can hear from.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, I've been on YouTube for 10 years. I didn't even know that I was on YouTube for 10 years now, but I've been
You're
on
like, wait
YouTube
a
for 10
minute.
years. I'm like, wow, I had the new information for me too. Been on YouTube for 10
I'm like,
years,
wow, okay,
and
that's news to
I'm
me.
still
Mm-hmm.
surprise, surprise. So I'm still finding out new things every day on how I can make better thumbnails or use better titles, what content works, and I think another important thing to mention is that as content creators, you can attach your value as a person with your views. And I think that's sort of unhealthy. But yeah, a lot of us develop like almost an obsession with,
Mm.
I have to make this video blow up. This has to be my next big thing. And it can just lead down just a path where you become just so obsessed and you lose that passion, you lose the creativity that you once had just trying to get views. And so I don't want to go down that road. So that's why I'm just trying to take a step back and write things down in my notebook, jot down ideas. And like you said, the passion has to be there. If you're not passionate about something, then you're not going to be happy doing it. And okay, the views might be there, but it's not going to be there forever, girl. I've seen videos, I've seen people making videos where okay, the video was successful, but just like with my series, like okay, it was successful, but then people grow tired of the same sort of video. So you either have to switch up the content, you have to add a twist to it,
Mm.
do something a little different, or you got to think of something else.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that was such a good point because a lot of creators tie their self worth to the success of their content. So
mhm.
when a video is performing really well, then they're on top of the world. They're sky high. They're like, I'm amazing. This is great. And then when a video bombs, then they're depressed and sad and I suck. Everybody hates me. Nobody likes me. My channel dying. Right. And it's so many creators are guilty of this. And it's hard not to be like that, but it's so important that you distance yourself and separate yourself from the content itself and not get the high, because like if you experience the highs, and yeah, there's going to be highs and excitements and all that, but if you really get like, it's like if it dictates your mood every day and you experience the highs, then you're going to experience the lows, and it's a roller coaster of emotions that is another path to burnout. You can only sustain that for so long. And I think a lot of creators, they find their that are able to make it long term. They find their self worth and value beyond the success of each individual video.
I love that. Yes. And that's again a very hard thing to accept. And no matter how long you've been on YouTube, every content creator has at one point put their value into the views that they've gotten
Mm-hmm.
and thought, okay, like now I'm actually doing well only because my video's getting this, but we forget the moments where we either have helped people through our content, whether it's someone who's just having a bad day and watched our video and it made them smile, or for me, like people come up to me and are like, I learned retouching from your video, or like I bought my first camera because you, and it just like, it just, I forget those moments sometimes when I'm just thinking about like, oh no, I only need to focus on the views, but then I'm forgetting like all these beautiful things that I've like cultivated through videos that are through like education, especially just helping people with photography in any sort of capacity. So I think it's important to just go back to that and remember how you're impacting people, like even just one person. I think it makes all the difference. So I think I just need to remember that.
Yeah.
I just need to remember that. And I think anyone listening can just remember, just think of the people that, you know, you made smile or you made laugh, or your video or your content has helped. And I think that's what can keep you going.
100%. Do you have any of these questions or concerns about your YouTube channel? Did I pick the right niche? Should I be focusing on this audience for my channel? What kind of videos should I create that will attract a really good, loyal audience? Why am I growing so slow? I'm so overwhelmed with YouTube and I don't know if what I'm doing is the right thing to do to grow. Let me tell you, if you are thinking any of these things, you are not alone. Those are some of the questions I get most often as a YouTube strategist and coach for the last 7 years, and that is why I created my all-new $39 audience attraction system. The audience attraction system is based off of my experience coaching hundreds of YouTubers, many of which have grown tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of subscribers and attracted millions of views. I took the system that I use with my coaching clients and packaged it into the audience attraction system so that you now have access to this incredible action plan at a crazy low, affordable cost of $39. I want to give you the system you need to skyrocket your YouTube channel and start seeing results ASAP. Whether you're ready to blow up and scale the YouTube channel you already have, or you're just getting started but want to start seeing YouTube growth yesterday, the Audience Attraction System is the perfect fit for you. You can learn more about it by going to erikaviera.net/YAAS. Again, that is erikaviera.net/YAAS. So Jessica, when you're in the end of the interview, and I'm just going to rapid fire the same questions that I asked everybody else at the end of the interview. You good?
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. If you were to start over with your channel right now, what would you do differently, if anything?
Oh my God, probably better thumbnail. My thumbnails were terrible. My God, I didn't even know you could. I think thumbnails also were so different back 2013. Like, I don't know, but probably
thumbnails.
the thumbnails. The thumbnails.
What is your favorite video you have on your channel?
Ooh, that's interesting. Oh, that's a tough one. Probably one of my 4 photographers episodes. One of them was just we had some funny moments in there. We had some funny moments. I think one of the episodes, I don't remember which one it was, but actually, no, I'm going to take that back.
Okay.
I'm going to put that as an honorary mention.
Okay.
Taking pictures of strangers, the one that we did recently during Halloween in Japan, was so crazy and so fun. So hilarious. I was laughing so hard editing it. So it's on my channel if you want to watch. If you want to watch.
Okay, we'll link it. We'll link it below. Yeah. I mean, you've kind of talked about it throughout this interview, but what would you say is your number one struggle with YouTube?
I'm going to say consistent. I got to keep it consistent. The consistency for me is just, I'm all over the place sometimes. And I think also, can I add on like an honorary mention for branding? All my design teachers listening are just not going to be happy.
Yeah, the
branding. My channel branding, I think, needs a major rehaul. Major rehaul. What is it?
Rehaul. Yeah. Overhaul.
Rehaul. Yeah. Overhaul. Yes.
Some kind of haul, but not a shopping haul.
I mean, I love shopping.
Yeah, I know. Those do well on YouTube. What?
Imagine that's my third channel.
Yeah. Whole other direction.
My second interview with you. I started a shopping channel. No more photography. I quit photography. Yeah. I just shop. Exclusively shop now.
That's all I do. I do hauls. My rehaul was my haul channel. I mean, if you could, you're in Japan, you can have some fun with that. But
why not?
What is your number one tip for preserving your mental health as a content creator?
Having genuine friendships outside of YouTube, because sometimes people are only friends with YouTubers, and sometimes the harsh reality is sometimes people are only friends with you because they want to be in your videos
Mm,
or want to be tagged in your videos.
yeah.
And I think having a healthy friendship where it's not based on YouTube and you don't feel like what someone has an ulterior motive is extremely important.
Mm-hmm.
Just to lean on people for support, like your people who actually care about you, not as a YouTuber, but as a person, as a human being. I think it's essential in making it.
And that's what I say is a solution to what we talked about earlier of like not tying your self-worth to your channels is having other things that you're proud of in your life beyond just your YouTube channel. And a lot of that has to do with, the people that you surround yourself with that are, whether some might be other YouTubers, but maybe it isn't. Maybe it's other friends, family, whatever that is, and having some self-worth tied to that. So that's really good advice. Have you ever just wanted to give up? What happened there, and how did you get back on track?
Would you believe I've never wanted to give up ever
Well, you've been doing it for
with
10
photography?
years.
I've just loved every moment that I've done YouTube and I think photography. We're just going back to like the core of my identity, which
Mm-hmm.
a lot of my life is just about photography, and I just absolutely love it. I'm so passionate about it, and
Mm,
I've never wanted to give up because I just knew I could learn more. I enjoy doing it, and I love meeting people and working with new models and doing just any type of photography. So I don't know. I've never personally. Don't get me wrong. I've definitely had very low moments where I'm like, "Ugh, is this for me? Like YouTube sense. I'm like, should I keep going? I don't know what to do. Like I felt
mm-hmm.
lost, but I've never felt like I truly wanted to give up.
Yeah.
I'm a fighter girl.
No, it's
Not
good.
like you know,
You got it.
just
You have to be.
fighting for my passion.
Yeah, you have to be to survive in this industry, I think. Especially long term, like for 10 years.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
what is the biggest opportunity you got as a result of being a YouTuber?
Wow. I'm trying to think. Not that I've had like an extreme amount, but don't get me wrong. I have had opportunities, because of my YouTube channel. I was in a commercial for. I was in like a campaign for a camera brand,
Mm,
um, and
that's cool.
then what else did I do? I shot with. I shot with another with a. I don't know if I should say the brand. I mean, yeah, I shot for Adidas Originals, which was really cool.
Yeah.
I did something for them. What else? You get invited to photographer events as like a VIP and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I would say I think there's just been like little moments. I just love all the, I just like going to the events. I love meeting other photographers. I love talking about photography. I mean, not all the time, but it's fun. It's fun meeting other photographers too in the industry.
Yeah.
Cause I did, by the way, I worked as a photographer. I did wedding photography also for, for such a long time. I had clients and I still have my photography business. I did that for a long time, like six, I don't know, maybe 7 years. I don't know how long it was, but I started in 2011 doing photography professionally.
Mm.
And so I'm actually like a wedding photographer. So I'm considering doing that, bringing that back again and starting wedding photography.
On your
But I actually
channel
like
or
work as a
just like
photographer.
in your channel or just like personally in your, just like,
No, personally. Yeah,
oh,
yeah, personally. Yeah. I love your bangs, by the way. Your
oh,
bangs are so cute.
thanks. It's
Love your bangs.
just trying to maintain them. They're like, I always
I
cut
know. I kind
them.
of want to get that. Listen, if you see me with that haircut, just know I copied you.
Okay. I feel like bangs are trending these days. So, um, what uh, what is your superpower that you think has led to your success on YouTube?
My jokes. My jokes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like my jokes, just joking.
Well, that's where the commentary and reaction comes in. The sense of humor, for sure.
I just try to be I just try to be my real self on camera
Mm-hmm.
and just sometimes sometimes I'll just say the most random thing. Sometimes like I'll be with my sisters and I'll say the most random shit. They'll be like, "Why did you Jessica, like, why would you say that?" I'm like, I don't even know. But this is just who I am. I think just presenting content in a way that I would want to
consume it.
access content is how I try to approach the making content. And because when I started, there was really no one to help me. There was very few like tutorials online and things like that. So I just try to do what wasn't done for me.
Yeah.
So I just try to be that person that I never had.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. And last question is, what is your number one piece of advice you would tell someone who's just starting out on YouTube?
Don't give up, and don't judge based on the first few days or weeks. Your content can blow up from out of nowhere. Okay, I'm talking like even a year later. Your one video that you posted of your cat drinking water, it could go viral. Okay, and then you could see it on the front page of the internet. I don't know, but you never know when your content is going to go viral or people will start being interested in your content. So don't give up. And also, it's important to try new things. If you see something's not necessarily working, just try something else. Switch up the titles, see what thumbnails are working for other people, and become inspired by that. And I think researching and doing a little bit of work, because like you mentioned with the analytics do play a role in like watch time, things like that. I watched a lot of other YouTubers give advice on how they sort of create their videos and what they look for. So I think it's important to do a little bit of research too, the analytics side of things, even though it's not that fun.
Depends, because I think it's really fun. I love the analytics.
So this is why I like me and you after this.
That's why
the way we go together.
Yeah, that's why the analytics, like, I love that. Some people hate it, and a lot of creatives they don't want to. But the way I view the analytics, it's almost like it's like a gift from YouTube, because it helps you it's giving you so much data that it helps you to make decisions on like what to do next. But it is hard because there's so much to remember. I mean, when you're doing every video, you got to do the title, the thumbnail, the video itself, the editing, the lighting, the shooting, the script, all the ideas, the ideation. It's kind of like there's so much to think about with YouTube. So it's a lot, but it's an amazing career. And like you said, it's like, don't give up. You've had a lot of fun with it, and there's ebbs and flows. And when it's high, it's high. And when it's low, it's low. But you gotta be able to charge through it. Have those friends, have that community outside of YouTube.
Just like Erika, have a friend like Erika. That's going to be brutally honest. Like, I need that. I think you need a friend that's going to roast you, by the way. You don't need a friend, oh, no, you're doing amazing. No, you need a friend who's going to be like, what were you thinking? Like, no one's going to click this. Like,
you got sisters. I got sisters too. Sisters are great for that.
You have sisters too?
Yeah, I have 2 sisters. Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
If you've ever been roasted.
Yeah.
If you've ever been hurt deep inside, like,
yeah.
From your sisters.
The sisters are always,
Erika, I want to ask you something, because you've done so many of these interviews, and you probably have a wealth of knowledge. You probably have like a whole like treasure chest of knowledge. Okay, so tell me, what do you find to be the most the most constant mistake you see YouTubers making, or that they've talked about making?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know at this point, because I have so many interviews and so many people I work with, it's like there's a lot of mistakes. The number one mistake, I would say, it has to do with niche misalignment. And what I mean by that is that a lot of people kind of jump onto YouTube and they think that they want to do one thing. And the reality is that it's niche misalignment combined with a lack of self-awareness. So that's why in all of my programs, my boot camps, my coaching, it always starts with some deep dive into kind of what your mission is, your goal is, who you see talking to, all these things. Because I find that sometimes people there's not a sense of self-awareness on what they actually should be doing on YouTube. And I feel like, and maybe it's because those are the people that tend to come and gravitate towards me to like help them figure that out. Because a lot of people just, it's hard to know when you're so close to yourself and your content, like, should I be doing this? And a lot of times, like, a lot of the mistakes, and it stems from a misalignment to what you should actually be doing and focusing on, and who you should be focusing on and targeting it to. So it's like, it's not that people don't have a niche. It's not that they're not trying. It's just like a lack of self-awareness on like who they are and what they have to offer. Sometimes I'm like shocked when people tell me like, oh, I did XYZ. I'm like, and you don't mention that on your YouTube? What the hell are you doing talking about makeup? Like that's where I'm like, what? So and it's interesting, but for some people it's like, oh no, but I love this and I don't love this. And I think that can be very difficult because people think like hopping onto YouTube is like, oh, I just need to learn how to like edit and this and that and then just talk about things. But if you're going to really have a long-term sustainable career like what you have to have some self-awareness to like what you bring to the table, what makes you different, what makes you unique, what talents you have. That's the other thing. It's like some people jump onto YouTube and they're doing things that they're not the best at. Not to say that they're not good at a lot of other things. Like that's what I'm saying, self-awareness. It's like there's other things that they're really good at. Why are you focusing on something that you're not that good at? Because you're in a world where you're competing against other people that are really good at it. So I truly believe, and this is why I do what I do with the podcast, with my coaching, with my bootcamp, I believe that everybody has that special something, that spark, that magnetism, but it's a matter of figuring out what that is. And I find that is so that can be very difficult. I think like with you already know what that is to an extent because like you have this passion in photography. You've explored different areas of it. Now it's just about like strategy, I think, for you. But it's obviously because you've come so far. You don't get 2 million subscribers with not having that. So I think that's probably the biggest mistake or maybe the biggest issue I see. It's a combination between like, I know I initially said niche misalignment, but I think it actually stems from a lack of self-awareness. So you thought I was going to say thumbnails, huh?
Yeah. I'm like, maybe I should revise my answer. I would like to edit. Can I edit my answer?
My earlier answer. No.
Love how you ask me. I'm like, the thumbnails, and then you're like, okay, well, actually, there's an existential crisis here now. Well, in the vast scheme of things, I'm like, I should have given a more in-depth answer.
Thumbnails is a good answer too. A lot of people suck at their thumbnails, and that can help them big time. So thumbnails is a good answer too. So I like your answer also. That would maybe be the number 2, okay, after the existential crisis. So
after the existential, which I'm happy. Which
I'll use your words. I'll say honorary mention. We'll do number 2 thumbnail.
Honorary mention.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Yeah.
After my
existential crisis.
The titles and the existential crisis. Yeah. I think it's. You mentioned so many good things, and I think we have to just be honest with ourselves because a lot of people. I love your. Is that a huge cup, dude? You gotta have a huge.
I got my huge coffee cup and my huge water cup. Well, I'm sitting here doing interview after interview. I batch record, so I gotta have my supplies ready.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, you guys. If you guys are listening, she's holding. It's like this. It's like a huge. It looks like a soup bowl, but it has a handle. And then
it's so out of season. It's
Minnie Mouse.
It's Christmas, Minnie Mouse, and right here we're almost at like St. Patrick's Day or Easter. So yeah, wrong season.
I love that giant cup, and then the giant glass cup as well. Stay hydrated, girl. I got my water bottle.
Yeah, stay hydrated. So
I think we just need to be, even though it's hard, and sometimes we don't want to face the reality, but we have to be honest with ourselves. And maybe the thing that we thought is working or we thought we liked, maybe we don't anymore, and that's okay to change. It's okay to change and to experiment, but at the core, I think we can both agree you have to have the passion has to be there. If the passion's not there, if you're not truly loving if you wouldn't do it for free without monetization, then why are you doing it on YouTube?
Well, and why would anyone want to watch you? That's the other thing too. You have to think about. Yes. You're like, well, I'm going to grow and I'm growing and I'm grow. But if you're chasing down a path that isn't your path, if it's a path that you think you need to do because that's what's trending or that's what's doing well, but that's not what your special spark is, why would anyone want to watch you? People, it's called like, being an influencer, being a creator, like, and you have to have something watchable. So
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's an important question too that you maybe people need to ask themselves, like, why would people want to watch me?
Mm-hmm.
What do I bring to the table?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many videos out there. What makes
Mm-hmm.
my content
There's so
special?
many
Is
influencers
it my
out there.
personality?
Mm-hmm.
Is
Mm-hmm.
it my style of photography? Is it
My experience, my
is it my
knowledge.
gardening? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know.
Is it my, what'd you say?
I said gardening.
Gardening. Yeah. Hey, I've worked with channels that have gardens that like their gardening
Really?
video blew up. 100%.
You
Yeah.
are a pro. You are just a pro. You should be like my other partner manager, like second partner manager, Erica.
I am that for a lot of channels actually. I work with a lot of people and then they have their partner manager. And I'm always very interested in I have another channel I have that I talk to the partner manager, but I'm always interested to hear what they say too. Um so but Jessica, it was such a pleasure chatting with you. It was a little bit of everything, a little bit of hearing your story, your struggles, a little bit of coaching, a little bit of just having fun. And I have to say, I had a complete blast getting to know you and having you here on the podcast. And I hope everybody feels the same way. So, if people are not familiar with you and your content, where can they find you?
Well, first, you're so sweet. I really enjoyed this conversation, and
Me too.
I feel like this was at the right time
Good.
because I've just been back and forth with my YouTube, and
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure what to do, but I feel like this came at a great time, and you have so much helpful advice, and I really appreciate you. Like you have so much knowledge, and I think that's so important for people to listen and take tidbits of that and apply it to
Mm-hmm.
starting a YouTube channel or just continuing a current channel. So thank you. And you guys can find me on social media, YouTube at Jessica Kobeissi, and YouTube, Twitter,
Yeah.
Instagram. Do people even use Instagram anymore?
Yeah,
I
people
don't know.
do. I just got off a call and she's got, a whole bunch of followers and does the Instagram. So,
I feel like everything's like an Instagram. I don't know what's going on with Instagram, if it's having like a that Instagram is having an existential crisis. I
yeah,
think.
Instagram needs to take the advice of having some self awareness. Barely, they're.
Get Instagram on here. Get Instagram on here.
Yeah. It's like
The next
your
podcast is about
photos.
Instagram.
Yeah, because they came back to photos. That's their new thing now, is to go back to the old. But anyways, so I'm gonna leave Jessica's handles and links and stuff in the description here on YouTube, and then also the podcast. So Jessica, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Erica. Thank you everyone for listening, and I hope you guys are having an amazing day or night wherever you
Bye.
are.
Bye.